Hi, my name is Brooke Martin, and I'm going to be going through a brief ethical dilemma. Supervised training is of critical importance in the formal training of counselors. Supervision is the profession's most important instructional strategy. Learning in the classroom can teach methods, but it is in supervision that the student counselor develops and learns to apply clinical skills. To demonstrate the importance of supervision, I will discuss the case of Erin and Samantha. Erin is a second-year master's in school counseling student who is working on fulfilling practicum hours at a nonprofit educational consulting center. Erin is under the supervision of Samantha, who is a licensed counselor who has practiced counseling at the center for the past 5 years. Erin notices a few issues related to Samantha's supervision, and because of these issues, Erin has recently become reluctant to share ideas or talk openly about client cases with Samantha. I'm going to walk through a method for ethical decision-making that will guide Erin toward managing the issues that she has encountered during her practicum. This is actually a 10-step ethical decision-making model, which I initially learned about through a previous course in ethics, and it's actually laid out in a book by Welfa called Ethics in Counseling and Psychotherapy, Standards, Research, and Emerging Issues. And this model will actually assist in guiding Erin in considering her situation from every angle and will help to ensure that she arrives at a well-reasoned ethical decision regarding how she will handle the dilemma she has encountered with Samantha. First, she needs to develop ethical sensitivity. First, Erin must have an understanding of her ethical identity as a clinician, so she will be aware of any dilemmas during her practicum. And in this particular case, Erin is aware that supervision is meant to aid trainees in providing the best possible service to clients. Erin is concerned that Samantha's supervision may compromise this requirement and responsibility. Second, she needs to clarify facts, stakeholders, and the sociocultural context of the case. An effective practicum experience requires the support of a competent and approachable supervisor. Erin does not have a supervisor that provides the support that she requires to thrive in her training. Samantha has displayed a lack of ethical fortitude and has set a poor example for Erin in the following manners. Erin suspected a suicide risk in one of her clients. However, when she approached Samantha to seek guidance in managing the issue, Samantha scoffed, and she joked about the situation. Samantha was negligent and directly endangered a client in not advising Erin to monitor the situation. She also lacked fidelity by making jokes about the situation. Samantha's emotional competence and personal values are also in question, as she becomes defensive and upset when Erin expresses her own opinions and does not implement suggested interventions. Samantha may not be able to regulate her emotions appropriately or have the required objectivity to support Erin's professional development. Samantha does not follow through with thorough, timely record keeping, and the example that she sets implies that it is acceptable for Erin to do the same. These concerns leave Erin, Samantha, and the center open to ethical and legal challenges. Erin has most likely been exposed to the ethical, legal, and moral expectations and obligations of a clinician, trainee, and supervisor during her studies. So she's aware of the issues that are involved in her practicum. Inadequate and incompetent supervision could harm Erin's clients, adversely affect the quality of her practicum experience, damage the center's reputation, damage Samantha's reputation, or it could even cost Samantha her license that she needs to practice and supervise. Third, Erin needs to define the central issues and the available options. So the main issue is the quality of supervision that Samantha is providing to Erin. Erin knows that incompetent supervision will ultimately affect client welfare and Erin's practicum training. Erin may elect to speak to Samantha directly about her concerns, speak to the agency director or one of Samantha's supervisors, speak to a professor at her university, or do nothing and complete the practicum experience, or even seek alternative supervision. Erin has to advocate for herself to obtain high-quality training to ensure that she will be able to provide competent services both during her practicum and in her future practice. Samantha's incompetent and impaired supervision is a problem to which Erin has to find a solution. Fourth, Erin needs to refer to professional standards and relevant laws and regulations. Erin should consider the following ethical standards as outlined in the American Counseling Association's Code of Ethics, which were published in 2014. Samantha does lack emotional competence and tends to impose her values on Erin. So the ACA codes C2D, monitor effectiveness, and A4B, personal values, should be considered. Erin tries to uphold code C2D by seeking personal guidance from Samantha. However, Samantha's inability to uphold A4B by imposing her own values, attitudes, beliefs, and behaviors on Erin does demonstrate her disregard for ethical codes. Samantha does not set a good example for Erin by overlooking ACA codes B6A, creating and maintaining records and documentation, and A1B, records and documentation, which both uphold the importance of maintaining timely documentation that is necessary for the delivery of accurate and competent services. Erin attempts to uphold Code F1A, client welfare, by seeking guidance from Samantha, but Samantha does not follow this code by lacking an ability to lead Erin to act ethically. By example, Samantha shows disregard for client welfare by neglecting to keep timely records and not advising Erin to treat potentially suicidal clients, which is a big issue. According to ACA Code F4D, termination of the supervisory relationship, Erin has the right to end her supervisory relationship with Samantha with proper notice if she finds that she is uncomfortable with continuing with this practicum placement. Fifth, Erin needs to search out ethics scholarship. Erin should search out ethics scholarship to compare her dilemma to similar issues that have been examined by other experts. For example, Goodyear notes that the hierarchical relationship puts the supervisor in a position of greater power, and with this position comes the potential to have damaging effects if that supervision is not performed ethically and competently. There is also an inherent power difference in a supervision relationship, as a supervisor has conflicting roles as a mentor and a gatekeeper. This is a critical point of balance, as Samantha must be approachable so that Erin can seek support through her practicum experience, but Samantha must also ensure that Erin is practicing her clinical skills with regard to the proper care of the patient. It is also important to note that Barnett states that substandard or ineffective clinical supervision may have far-reaching consequences for the developing professional and for those he or she treats. It is not the case that competent clinicians will inherently be good supervisors, especially if they have not received the proper training. Many supervisors have been reported because of this. Sixth, Erin needs to apply ethical principles to the situation. To make a sound ethical decision, Erin must ensure that she's acting with regard to the ethical principles, which include respect for autonomy, non-maleficence, beneficence, justice, and fidelity. To act according to these 5 principles and to ensure that she's acting in the best interest of her clients. Erin should consider how each of these 5 principles apply in this case in relation to both the therapeutic relationship between Erin and her clients and the supervisory relationship between Samantha and Erin. As a second-year master's student, Erin is developing her clinical skills, and Samantha should respect Erin's autonomy and clinical judgment to a certain degree. Samantha should provide guidance and suggestions, but not impose her will on Erin in an authoritarian manner. Samantha should strive to support and encourage Erin to grow instead of getting agitated that Erin did not do as she said. Erin must be responsible to act according to the principles of non-maleficence and beneficence, to do no harm and to do good for her clients. In this case, it might mean she has to question and go against her supervisor's wishes. Fidelity and justice toward the client might require Erin to confront this really delicate and difficult situation with her supervisor. The alternative of not confronting or discussing this with Samantha would mean Erin is not acting in her client's best interests. Instead of promoting these principles, it seems that Samantha tends to diminish Erin's ability to uphold them. Seventh, she needs to consult with a supervisor or respected colleague. After Erin has examined all perspectives of the dilemma, it's also necessary for her to seek additional guidance from a supervisor or respected colleague. This step is it acts as an opportunity for Erin to ensure that she has considered every facet of the issue and that she has reasoned through the issue with an ethical analysis. Receiving feedback on her reasoning may lead to further insight to the situation or may even lead her to reconsider her initial decision. In this case, as her supervisor's effectiveness isn't in question, Erin may choose to seek advice from a mentor, professor, or another trusted colleague who has experienced supervisory issues in the past. Understanding how they've dealt with such issues may influence Erin's final decision. 8th, Erin needs to deliberate and decide what she wants to do. After evaluating the information gathered through ethics scholarship, a review of the relevant laws and regulations, consultation with a colleague, a mentor, and considering her choices and consequences in light of the 5 ethical principles, Erin can then make an ethically informed decision. Erin needs to protect both her clients and her own best interests in obtaining competent supervision as part of her formal counseling training. Legal and ethical challenges for the center are also at stake. In the worst case, the client with a suicide risk is also in a precarious position. Erin needs to address the situation by speaking directly to Samantha about her feelings and concerns, and see if Samantha will be able to improve supervision by treating client welfare as a priority, giving Erin good case feedback and facilitating Erin's development as a clinician. Erin might also try to bring up her concerns with one of her university professors and also the center's director before confronting Samantha directly. Erin will need to express her concerns to Samantha carefully, as confronting a superior with negative feedback is a very sensitive manner. If the center takes issue with the issues that Erin raises or her supervision becomes further strained, she may then elect to terminate the supervisory relationship with proper notice. The 9th step is to inform the supervisor, implement and document decision-making process and her actions. This step in Walthall's process recommends informing the supervisor. Since Erin's specific case involves confronting her supervisor, Erin should inform one of her university professors as well as the center's director, as they are in positions of authority and oversight over both Samantha and Erin. Erin should document the steps she took in coming to her final decision so that she will be able to provide evidence if she were ever challenged by a peer, superior, or other involved party regarding the steps of the decision-making process that she took. The last step is to reflect on the experience. After some time has passed, Erin should then go back and reflect on her decision, the actions and consequences which followed. She should ask herself what she learned, what she did well, and how she may improve in the event that she encounters a similar situation in the future. Erin should also recognize that this was a valuable opportunity to learn and grow, despite some discomfort along the way. Facing this aversive situation and reflecting upon the results can have a positive outcome for Erin and those that she may supervise in the future. Ethical dilemmas are expected to arise in the course of any normal clinical practice. Clinicians have to be prepared to tackle these issues promptly. Walthall's ethical decision-making model does aid the clinician in understanding the core issues, making ethically sound decisions, and continuing to broaden a clinician's ethical sensitivity. To face an ethical dilemma is to face an opportunity to better understand one's moral and ethical identity. So that was my ethical dilemma. You can find my reference list in the video description. Thank you.